Here now, Mandy Gunasekara, former EPA Chief of Staff and Independent Women's Forum Senior Policy Analyst. Mandy, great to see you, although I got to say, this idea sounds nuts to me. What exactly are we signed up for, and what is it going to mean for Americans?
Well, it's absolute nuts and indicative of how the climate conversation has gone at the globalist level. It's completely undermining serious efforts at the domestic level, and this administration has made clear they want to apologize for America's success, whether talking about the economy or the environment, and we should not be apologizing. And really what this is, it's an attempt to bribe smaller countries to go along with this climate charade, and that's not good for them, it's not good for this country, and it's an absolute waste to the taxpayers. This administration is signing up billions of taxpayer dollars to go abroad to international slush funds that are unchecked by globalists that will do nothing to improve the environment and only undercut America's otherwise economic success. So yes, it is nuts. So
Americans who can't afford their heating bills are going to write a blank check to I don't even know who to pay for climate reparations. By the way, is China signed up for this thing? Are they on board? Because most of the time, they're not on board with all the climate that we have to pay for.
Yeah, you make a very good point with China. And what is unclear at this point, whether or not they are going to be a recipient of these funds or they're going to be funding them. And that's because they are still classified as a developing country despite their economic growth and despite the fact that they are the #1 contributor to greenhouse gases in the world. So Americans should be upset anywhere in this country, whether they vote Democrat or Republican, that this administration is sending their hard-earned taxpayer dollars to fund initiatives that could be benefiting China, while China sits there and laughs at this administration for apologizing for our economic success and signing us up for this absolute failure.
Well, you know, not only laughs at the Biden administration, but goes on and builds more and more coal-powered plants. I mean, they're not putting anything at risk. We're signing up for reparation funds. They're doubling down on a strategy to grow their economy. I want to talk a little bit about a Power the Future report. So this is an industry organization in the energy industry published a report which said could act as a roadmap for House Republicans when they take the majority. Mandy, you've taken a look at this report. One of the knocks on Republicans in the midterms is they couldn't talk about their plan going forward. They could identify problems. They didn't have solutions. Does this report give Republicans a framework for what we could do here to strengthen our energy position?
Yes, it does. It gives them a very workable and attainable, solutions-oriented outlook on the energy space. Look, voters that sent Republicans to take back over the majority, which is a very big deal, that's been downplayed, but a gavel's a gavel, and now Republican majority has the ability to shape policy fronts in the U.S. House of Representatives and to provide some meaningful relief that the American people have been clamoring for under the Biden administration. This policy report is full of basic ideas that make so much sense, like reducing new methane taxes, approving the Keystone XL pipeline, and allowing folks to drill on federal lands where we have lots of resources, and the men and women of the energy industry know how to extract, refine, and deliver those resources safely and efficiently to market.
Now, the question always is, what can you get done? If you hold the House, you don't have the Senate, you don't have the presidency, there's a lot of things in this plan. You worked at the EPA. You know how the regulatory bureaucracy works. You know what a party who holds the House could possibly do about that. What's your greatest hope over the next 2 years in terms of what Republicans could do to improve our energy situation?
Well, twofold. First and foremost is to work to reduce prices, gas prices and other electricity prices. And they can do that by sending signals to the marketplace that investing in U.S. energy is a good idea. And one of the biggest things they can take on that actually has bipartisan support is permitting reform. It's not the sexiest issue, but it's what really matters when the energy rubber meets the relative road. So I'm hoping they can achieve that, because sending that signal to the market will allow the energy industry to invest in the infrastructure like pipelines and refineries and the like that we actually need to address the current supply crunch, deliver more resources to market, and reduce prices for the American people. And the Republican Party is in a position to push that forward. And also what they need to do is put Democrats on record that oppose that very reasonable approach, and put Democrats on record that are unwilling to provide that much needed relief because of extreme politics.
Permitting reform, getting more supply online, anything in that realm would be a win. Mandy Gunasekara, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.